The breaking point. The Galactic Federation's central hub was an architectural marvel, a massive spinning structure that housed representatives from over 300 species across the known universe. At its heart lay the Grand Council chamber, where decisions affecting trillions of lives were made daily. Today, however, the chamber buzzed with an unusual tension. Eliza Chen stood alone at the speaker's podium, her crisp blue uniform bearing Earth's insignia, a simple globe encircled by laurels. As the human liaison to the Federation, she had endured countless slights and dismissals over her 15-year career. But today would be different. Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Federation, she began, her voice steady despite the murmurs rippling through the chamber. For 73 years, humanity has served as a member of this esteemed body. During this time, we have contributed our labor, our ingenuity, and our unwavering commitment to interspecies cooperation. The Scatheri ambassador, a being resembling a crystalline mantis, clicked its mandibles impatiently. Human Chen, the Council recognizes your species' contributions, limited as they may be by your technological immaturity. Is there a point to this address? Eliza maintained her composure, though her fingers tightened imperceptibly around the edges of her datapad. This was the same dismissive attitude humans had faced since first contact, when the Federation discovered Earth and deemed humans a promising but primitive species worthy of probationary membership. The point, Ambassador, is that despite humanity's contributions, we remain classified as a Class C member species with no voting rights on major Federation policies that directly affect Earth and human interests throughout Federation space. The Draxian representative's skin rippled with blue-green patterns, their equivalent of a contemptuous smirk. Your species has barely mastered interstellar travel. The Draxian Imperium had colonized 12 star systems before your ancestors invented the wheel. Polite laughter echoed through the chamber. It was a familiar refrain. Humans were technological infants compared to the ancient spacefaring civilizations that dominated the Federation. What you fail to recognize, Eliza continued undeterred, is that while humanity may lack your millennia of advancement, we have become an essential component of Federation infrastructure. 40% of your communication specialists are human. 35% of your engineering maintenance crews. 52% of your xenobiological research teams. And we value these contributions, interjected High Chancellor Vorik, the massive amphibian leader of the Council. But Federation statutes are clear. Full membership requires technological parity. Earth simply doesn't qualify. Eliza nodded slowly. We understand the Federation's position, and after 73 years, Earth has made its decision. She tapped her datapad, and a formal declaration appeared on the massive view screen surrounding the chamber. As of this moment, humanity is initiating a temporary withdrawal of services from all Federation facilities, stations, vessels, and installations. This is not a withdrawal from the Federation itself, merely a demonstration of our role within it. The withdrawal will last until our petition for full membership is reconsidered. The chamber erupted. Some representatives laughed outright. The audacity of these humans. Others hurled questions and demands. Chancellor Vorik pounded his webbed hand on the console. This is unprecedented. You cannot simply withdraw essential personnel without proper protocols. We're not, Eliza replied calmly. According to Federation Labor Statute 47B, any species may recall its citizens for a period not exceeding 60 days for cultural observances of significant importance. We're simply exercising that right. All humans will return to Earth or designated human spaces for reflection. A loophole, hissed the Scatheri ambassador, a primitive attempt at coercion. Eliza gathered her materials and straightened her uniform. Perhaps it's time for the Federation to recognize what humans truly contribute. You have 30 days to reconsider our status. After that, we'll formalize our petition for withdrawal. As she turned to leave, the Draxian called out, Your species overestimates its importance. The Federation functioned before humans, and it will function without you. Eliza paused at the chamber doors. We shall see. While the council continued its heated debate, a carefully orchestrated operation was already in motion. Throughout Federation space, humans received the coded message that initiated Operation Disconnect. In the massive shipyards of Proxima Station, Chief Engineer Marcus Webb powered down his systems and instructed his team to do the same. But sir, protested a young engineer, the Avarian cruiser is only half finished. If we leave now. Those are our orders, Marcus replied, removing his specialized toolkit, a collection of modifications and innovations he'd developed over 20 years. Document everything, lock your stations, and proceed to the evacuation point. Similar scenes played out across thousands of Federation installations. On the medical station orbiting Ta City, Dr. Sophia Reyes briefed her alien colleagues before departing. The automated systems will handle basic treatment protocols, she explained to the confused Nesdian medical director. But the specialized translation matrices for cross-species treatment will be offline during our absence. But how will we communicate treatment parameters across biological systems? The Nesdian demanded, its feathery appendages quivering with distress. Dr. Rice handed over a massive physical manual. The old-fashioned way. The reference guides are comprehensive, though I'm afraid they're only in English and Standard Federation. In the communications hub of Federation headquarters itself, Lieutenant Commander Jamal Washington supervised the transition. As humans logged out of their stations, subtle changes rippled through the vast network that connected thousands of worlds. They can't seriously believe this will affect anything, muttered a Alexei's supervisor, its eye stalks swiveling in confusion. The systems are automated. Of course, Jamal agreed pleasantly. Though you might want to have someone check the translation protocols between Draxian and Scatheric communication bands. There's been some drift in the semantic matrices that we've been manually adjusting. Within 48 hours, all human personnel had withdrawn to Earth or human control facilities. The Federation Council dismissed the action as a petulant gesture, a brief inconvenience that would ultimately demonstrate humanity's irrelevance. They were wrong. The first signs appeared in the communication networks. Subtle mistranslations between species led to minor diplomatic incidents. A Draxian trade delegation insulted their mentorate hosts by seemingly demanding unreasonable concessions, a mistranslation that would normally have been caught by human operators who understood the cultural nuances that automated systems missed. 3 days in, power fluctuations began affecting major Federation hubs. The intricate balance between incompatible power generation technologies of different species, technologies that human engineers had painstakingly integrated over decades, began to destabilize without constant adjustment. On day 5, medical emergencies mounted as the complex cross-species treatment protocols faltered. Automated systems could handle standard cases, but without humans to interpret the biological differences between species, errors multiplied. By the end of the first week, Chancellor Vorik convened an emergency session of the Council. The massive view screens that normally displayed perfect holographic renderings of distant representatives now showed grainy, distorted images. Half the translation feeds suffered from lag or outright failure. This is precisely what the humans intended, raged the Scatheri ambassador. They've sabotaged our systems. No, corrected the mentorate observer, its floating orb body pulsing with concerned colors. Our investigation shows no sabotage. They simply stopped making the countless small adjustments and fixes they've been implementing for decades. Systems that should be compatible aren't. They never truly were. Humans were the organic interface making everything work together. In her office on Earth, Eliza Chen received the mounting reports with grim satisfaction. Humanity had never planned to demonstrate their value this way, but decades of dismissal had forced their hand. How long before they break? Asked Admiral Torres, the architect of Operation Disconnect. Eliza studied the cascade of system failures spreading across Federation space. They're already breaking. The question is whether their pride will break before their civilization does. The silent revolution. By day 15 of humanity's withdrawal, the Galactic Federation faced an unprecedented crisis. What had begun as minor inconveniences had cascaded into system-wide failures. Fleet Admiral Xano of the Draxian Imperium glared at the emergency reports flooding his command center. 3 more battle cruisers reporting critical navigation failures, his second-in-command announced. And the 7th Fleet can't coordinate targeting systems, something about incompatible sensor arrays. How is this possible? Kano demanded, his scales flaring red with anger. These systems have been integrated for decades. It appears, the officer replied carefully, that human technicians have been implementing manual workarounds for fundamental incompatibilities between our technology and that of our allies. Without those adjustments, the Federation's vaunted military might, the combined forces of 300 species, was crippled not by enemy action, but by the absence of a species they have considered primitive. In the Grand Council chamber, now operating on emergency power, with half its systems offline, Chancellor Vorik faced the grim reality of their situation. The humans didn't sabotage anything, explained the Azurian chief technologist, her holographic image flickering erratically. They simply withdrew the thousands of small fixes, adjustments, and innovations they've been implementing daily. Our systems never truly worked together. Humans made them work. How did we become so dependent without realizing it? Asked the mentored representative. Because we didn't see them, replied the Azurian. Humans were everywhere, doing the jobs other species considered beneath them. They learned all our languages, mastered all our technologies, and understood all our biological differences. When incompatibilities arose, they didn't redesign systems. They adapted, created workarounds, built interfaces. They became the living connective tissue of the Federation. The revelation landed heavily on the Council. For decades, they had dismissed humans as newcomers playing catch-up to superior civilizations. In reality, humans had woven themselves into the fundamental infrastructure of galactic society. On Earth, the United Earth government maintained a unified front despite pressure from Federation diplomats. In the Strategic Command Center beneath Geneva, Admiral Torres briefed President Okafor on the latest developments. Federation commerce has declined 68%, Torres reported. Their medical systems are operating at 40% capacity. Military readiness is estimated at less than 30%. President Okafor studied the holographic display showing Federation space, once a brilliant network of interconnected systems, now dimming as failures multiplied. And our people? She asked. All accounted for and safely withdrawn to Earth or human colonies. The specialized teams we left behind to monitor critical life support systems report no casualties related to our withdrawal. We never wanted this, Okafor said quietly. We simply wanted to be treated as equals. They're ready to talk now, Torres replied. Chancellor Vorik has requested a direct channel. He's prepared to send a delegation to Earth. The delegation arrived 3 days later, a collection of the Federation's highest officials, forced to travel on human ships because their own vessels could no longer navigate reliably without human crew members. They were escorted to the United Earth Government headquarters in Geneva, where the full Human Council awaited them. Chancellor Vorik, his massive amphibian frame diminished by recent stress, addressed the assembled human representatives. On behalf of the Galactic Federation, I extend our formal request that humanity return to Federation service. He paused, clearly struggling with the words. We acknowledge that we misjudged humanity's role within our collective civilization. President Okafor nodded. We appreciate your acknowledgement, Chancellor. But humanity's return must come with recognition of our true status in the Federation. The human delegation presented their terms. Full Class A membership with voting rights equal to the founding species. Retroactive compensation for 73 years of unequal treatment. Official recognition of humanity's unique contributions to Federation infrastructure. And integration of human innovation methodologies into Federation protocols. These demands are unprecedented, protested the Scathari ambassador. though with noticeably less conviction than usual. "So is the current situation," replied Eliza Chen, now elevated to Human High Representative. "We don't seek dominance, merely equality. Humanity has demonstrated not our technological superiority, but our unique capacity for adaptation and integration. Exactly the qualities the Federation claims to value." The negotiations lasted 3 days. In the end, faced with the continuing collapse of Federation systems, the delegation accepted humanity's terms. The agreement, dubbed the Geneva Protocol, would restructure humanity's relationship with the galactic community. As human specialists began returning to their posts throughout Federation space, the systems slowly rekindled. Communication networks stabilized, power grids balanced, medical facilities resumed full function. The intricate dance of incompatible technologies, once again harmonized by human ingenuity, resumed. In the restored Grand Council chamber, now with a permanent human delegation seated in the inner circle, Chancellor Vorik formally presented the Geneva Protocol for ratification. "This agreement marks a new understanding between humanity and the Federation," he announced. "We recognize that advancement is measured not merely by the age of a civilization or the power of its technology, but by its capacity to bridge differences and create harmony from diversity." The protocol passed unanimously, a first in Federation history. Later, in the privacy of her new office as Human High Representative, Eliza Chen reflected on the journey that had brought humanity to this moment. "We never wanted to cause harm," she told Admiral Torres as they watched Federation ships once again moving smoothly through Earth's orbital lanes. "We simply needed them to see us, truly see us." "They see us now," Torres replied. "The question is, what will humanity do with its new position?" Eliza smiled. "What we've always done: adapt, innovate, connect. The difference is now we'll do it as equals, not servants." As human specialists resumed their roles throughout Federation space, they brought with them not resentment but renewed purpose. Humanity had demonstrated its worth not through dominance or force, but by revealing the true power of their gift, the ability to bridge differences, to connect incompatible systems, to find harmony in diversity. In the vast tapestry of the galaxy, humans had proven themselves not as conquerors or technological marvels, but as something perhaps more valuable: the species that could bring all others together. The silent revolution was complete. Without firing a shot or raising a voice, humanity had transformed its place in the cosmos, one small connection at a time.